Beloved souls of divine potential, how often have you prayed, hoping, pleading, yearning for your heart's desire, only to meet silence? How often have you whispered, "Why does heaven not answer me?" Ah, but heaven has answered. It is we who must learn the language of its reply. You see, prayer is not a cry from the valley, it is a song from the mountaintop. Before you ask, you must alight. Rise in consciousness. Step into the feeling of your answered prayer now. You cannot pray for abundance while trembling in the shadow of lack. You cannot call for love while still wrapped in the garments of loneliness. You cannot demand healing while secretly bowing to the thought of sickness. The universe is a mirror, it reflects not your words, but your state of being. So I say to you, alight first. Lift your thoughts to the realm where your desire already lives. See yourself as whole, radiant, triumphant. Feel it until your entire being hums with the frequency of fulfillment. Then, and only then, speak your prayer and it shall be done unto you as you believe. When you align your heart with faith, the law of manifestation stirs into action. The doors that were once locked begin to open. People appear at the right moment. Resources flow with grace, and the impossible bends to your certainty. Do not mistake waiting for faith. Faith does not wait, it knows. It walks as though the answer is already here. It smiles before the evidence appears. It gives thanks before the harvest, for it knows the seeds are already planted in unseen soil. And if you wonder why your prayers have failed before, look not to the heavens, but within. Ask yourself, did I alight first? Or did I ask from the shadows of fear? For fear cannot open divine doors, only faith can. And faith is not a whisper, it is a knowing that glows. So, today, lift your vision higher. Let your heart burn with the light of answered prayer. See yourself already living the miracle. Then ask not as a beggar, but as an heir to the kingdom of infinite supply. When you alight first, then ask. Every prayer becomes a decree, every wish a command, and every dream a living reality. Rise, beloved, and watch heaven rush to meet you. Faith is not a plea, it is power in motion. When a person truly understands faith, they no longer ask with trembling lips, they declare with quiet authority. Faith is the living essence of divine energy flowing through the soul, not a mere hope or wish. Many stand before the infinite, pleading for their good, while secretly clutching the cloak of disbelief. Their words say, "I believe," but their hearts whisper, "I doubt." And the universe, ever obedient to vibration, responds not to what is spoken aloud but to what is truly felt. This is why so many prayers drift into silence. They are half-charged, carrying both light and shadow. One cannot move a mountain with a divided mind. Faith is not a plea, it is power in motion. When a person truly understands faith, they no longer ask with trembling lips, they declare with quiet authority. Faith is the living essence of divine energy flowing through the soul, not a mere hope or wish. Many stand before the infinite, pleading for their good, while secretly clutching the cloak of disbelief. Their words say, "I believe," but their hearts whisper, "I doubt." And the universe, ever obedient to vibration, responds not to what is spoken aloud but to what is truly felt. This is why so many prayers drift into silence. They are half-charged, carrying both light and shadow. One cannot move a mountain with a divided mind. Faith is a certainty that exists before the evidence appears. It is the invisible substance that shapes the visible world. When one holds faith as a living energy, they are not asking for what they lack. They are aligning with what already is. They stand as though the prayer has been answered, because in the unseen realm, it has. To live in this awareness is to step into the current of divine law. It is the same law that causes a seed to sprout, the sun to rise, and the heart to beat without command. Faith operates with precision. It never fails when undiluted by doubt. The moment a person fully surrenders disbelief, the channel clears, and the answer flows like light through open space. Faith must be felt before it can be seen. It is not an intellectual exercise. It is a vibration, a deep conviction that radiates through every cell of the body. When one feels faith, their speech changes, their posture changes, their countenance shines with quiet assurance. This inner knowing transmits its message to the outer world. Circumstances rearrange themselves to match the inner declaration. Opportunities appear, doors open, and seeming obstacles dissolve. It is not magic, it is law. The law of mind responds perfectly to the tone of belief. To cultivate such faith, one must train the imagination. Each thought, each image held with feeling, impresses the subconscious with new direction. When fear arises, it must be met with the firm word, "Only good can come to me." When doubt whispers, it must be replaced with affirmation, My good is certain and already on its way. Gradually, the emotional current shifts from hesitation to conviction, from waiting to knowing. That is the turning point where prayer ceases to be a request and becomes a realization. The universe cannot resist a consciousness anchored in certainty. Faith is living energy, not blind trust. It sees through appearances and calls forth truth. It is the light that says, "It is done," even while the world still appears unchanged. The one who holds such faith becomes magnetic to every blessing they desire. For when faith reigns, all resistance falls away, and the divine power within fulfills every promise made to the believing heart. The imagination is the sacred bridge between the seen and the unseen, the visible and the invisible. It is not a child's toy nor an idle dream. It is the divine instrument through which creation flows. Everything that exists in the material world was first born in the mind of someone who dared to imagine it. The home, the invention, the song, the work of art were conceived in the silent realm of thought before they took form. So too does every answered prayer begin as an image held in the sanctuary of imagination. When one alights into the vibration of what they desire, they do so by shaping it first in thought and feeling. For the imagination is the channel through which divine intelligence operates. To pray effectively is to see the outcome vividly before the senses confirm it. One must picture the desired state with joy and conviction, feeling it so real that the heart thrills as though it were already achieved. In that instant, the unseen begins to respond. The law of mind works upon the images we impress upon it, whether those images are of fear or faith. This is why careless imagination leads to unwanted results. The creative power does not discriminate. It builds from the blueprints we provide. Therefore, the wise and awakened soul watches their inner pictures with care, knowing that every mental scene is a seed sown into the garden of experience. Imagination is the workshop of faith. It gives form to the invisible substance of belief. When one prays for healing, they must see themselves already radiant, strong, and whole. When they pray for abundance, they must see themselves surrounded by supply, giving freely and joyfully. To imagine from lack is to continue in lack. To imagine from fulfillment is to open the door to manifestation. The clearer and more lovingly we hold these images, the quicker they condense into reality. This is the secret of all demonstrations, to live inwardly as though the wish is already fulfilled, until the outer world must follow. The imagination must not be strained or forced. It must be illumined by faith. A picture held with anxiety or impatience loses its creative charge, but when it is held with quiet joy and trust, the universe bends to it effortlessly. The individual who truly understands this law no longer prays with desperation. They enter the silence, build the picture with confidence, feel its truth, and give thanks. Gratitude seals the image with power. The moment one feels genuine appreciation for what is yet unseen, the substance of the universe begins to move. Invisible helpers, circumstances, and coincidences align in perfect timing. Imagination is the divine artist, painting upon the canvas of the soul. It is the secret chamber where dreams are translated into form. The one who governs their imagination governs their destiny. For as the image within, so is the life without. When one dares to see their prayer fulfilled in vivid detail and holds that vision unwaveringly, creation rushes forward to meet the image impressed upon the mind. The imagination is not fantasy, it is faith's creative partner, the inner eye through which the unseen becomes the seen. The law of manifestation cannot operate through a mind filled with conflict, resistance, or emotional clutter. When one attempts to pray while carrying resentment, fear, or self-condemnation, the current of divine energy becomes blocked. The universe is orderly, harmonious, and responsive to clarity. It cannot flow through the tangled wires of confusion and contradiction. To alight is to clear the inner space, to release every emotion that vibrates below love, and to make the mind a clean channel for divine power. Many people try to manifest blessings while secretly holding grievances, anger toward others, or guilt over their past. Yet these emotions act like heavy weights, anchoring the soul to limitation. The law responds perfectly to our dominant feeling. And if that feeling is bitterness or fear, the answer will mirror that vibration. The first act of releasing resistance is forgiveness. To forgive is not to excuse or forget, but to free oneself from the energetic bond of the past. The moment one forgives, they cut the cord that ties them to pain. Forgiveness opens the heart, and an open heart is the perfect soil for divine ideas to take root. Some cling to resentment, believing it protects them, but it only poisons the current of their own good. The mind must be still, and the emotions peaceful before divine intelligence can move through them. Just as a muddy river cannot reflect the sky, a disturbed consciousness cannot reflect divine perfection. Peace is not a passive state, it is power at rest. It is the vibration that allows manifestation to flow unhindered. When a person releases all internal struggle and chooses serenity, they come into harmony with the universal rhythm. From that stillness, guidance comes easily. Intuition speaks clearly. Opportunities appear naturally. To release resistance is to trust that the universe is friendly and that every experience, even the painful ones, is guiding the soul toward greater truth. Nothing is ever lost when one lets go only the burdens that were never meant to be carried. The law of creation works through belief, and belief cannot be pure if the heart is divided. One cannot expect abundance while resenting those who have it. One cannot invite love while secretly fearing rejection. One cannot call forth health while identifying with weakness. The outer world mirrors the hidden conditions of the inner. When one purifies their emotions, they purify their results. This is why the act of cleansing, whether through prayer, meditation, or silent reflection, is not a luxury but a necessity. A peaceful spirit is the most powerful magnet on earth. It draws blessings effortlessly because it is aligned with the natural order of good. The moment one surrenders all tension and says, "I release everything that no longer serves me," they become an open vessel for divine supply. Resistance is replaced by flow, fear by faith, and chaos by clarity. In that clear state, miracles move swiftly, for the law can finally do its perfect work. Prayer is not a momentary act of asking, it is a continuous state of consciousness. To truly live the law of manifestation, one must not simply pray once and then return to fear or doubt. Instead, every thought, word, and action must reflect the vibration of the fulfilled desire. Living from the fulfilled state means embodying the feeling of already having received the answer. It is walking, speaking, and thinking as though the thing sought is already in one's possession. This is not pretense or fantasy, it is alignment with divine law. The universe responds not to occasional affirmations but to the sustained atmosphere of belief. When the inner state is steady and unwavering, the outer world must rearrange itself to match that conviction. Many people pray fervently but then undo their prayers with their daily attitude. They ask for abundance and then speak of lack. They pray for health but dwell on symptoms and limitations. They desire love yet continue to act from fear or unworthiness. The law of manifestation cannot operate under such contradiction. To live from the fulfilled state is to hold a steady emotional tone of gratitude, peace, and certainty, regardless of appearances. It is the quiet assurance that says, "It is done," even when the evidence has not yet arrived. This inner constancy is what magnetizes the outer world. Life is but a mirror reflecting the consciousness we maintain most persistently. The fulfilled state is not maintained by effort or struggle, but by remembrance. It is the gentle yet powerful act of returning again and again to the vision of completion. When the mind drifts into doubt, one must calmly bring it back to truth. My good is already established. The law is working now. Every time this is done, faith deepens and resistance weakens. The individual begins to feel the joy of answered prayer, long before the answer appears. That feeling is the creative key. The universe reads emotion as instruction. It takes its cue from the vibration of belief. A grateful heart tells the law that the work is complete, and the law obeys without question. To live from fulfillment also means to act in harmony with that inner reality. If one believes in prosperity, they give and share freely, trusting in endless supply. If one believes in health, they move, breathe, and think as the whole person they already are. If one believes in love, they express kindness, compassion, and self-respect in every interaction. These outer actions are not attempts to force results but natural expressions of an inward conviction. They strengthen the vibration of completion and anchor it into form. As the feeling becomes more consistent, the physical world must follow, for it has no choice but to mirror consciousness. Living from the fulfilled state is living from truth. It is the recognition that the prayer has been answered in the unseen, long before it becomes visible. The one who holds this awareness walks in peace, unaffected by delay or appearance, knowing that what is real within will soon reveal itself without. Such a person no longer chases their desires, they attract them, for when the heart beats with the rhythm of fulfillment, life itself bends joyfully to deliver every promise contained in that divine vibration.